Okay, TB Nation, it's time to talk about Adam Sandler. While he might be the internationally loved creator of cultural landmark films, few people know the real Adam Sandler, or how big his cultural impact has really been. He has indeed earned his reputation as an all-around good guy, partially by helping lift up comedians rather than competing with them. From Rob Schneider to Tony Hinchcliffe, Adam Sandler has handed careers over to those he deemed deserving. And though he doesn't like to claim credit, Adam is even the one who talked Gabriel Iglesias into pursuing stand-up rather than his then job of performing as a cat. Now, since Adam hit the comedy scene, he's always involved guitar playing and comedic music. But it might surprise you to learn that much like John Depp, Adam originally was pursuing a serious career in music. Before he was known for his silly Scooby-Doo voice, Adam was known for hard-hitting political punk music in his band Destroy the System. But just like John Depp, once Adam's band moved to LA, it wasn't long before he was plucked up by the Hollywood machine. And it was, in fact, Whoopi Goldberg who spotted Adam performing at a hardcore underground basement show. Apparently, Whoopi Goldberg was a known figure in the LA hardcore scene and was no stranger to jumping in the pit and throwing bows. And so apparently after the show, Whoopi approached Adam but found he was anything but the figure he was acting like on stage. You see, Adam was really shy and had a bit of a stutter, so he tended to lay back and let others talk. Now, Whoopi Goldberg, being the comedian she was, thought Adam was just kidding by acting so timid. She thought it was just a hilarious character that stuttered and said Scooby-Doo. Well, apparently she was able to talk him into getting on stage at the Comedy Store, and Adam quickly became a fan favorite. The only problem was, Adam wanted to be a musician, not a comedian. So as his stand-up career started to take off, he reluctantly followed, but always tried to steer back into music. And after joining the cast of SNL, Adam found out the hard way just what type of contract he had signed. You see, now that Adam was on TV, he was hoping to leverage that towards his career in music. They pointed out that in the contract he had signed, he was only allowed to make comedic music while working for SNL. And that's where hit songs like Sloppy Joe came from. That turned into Adam recording a full-length album to fulfill his contractual obligations. Well, by the time he's off SNL, Adam is now a widely known comedic musician, and he finds that try as he might, there's no label that's willing to sign him to make serious music. And that's when he finally gave in to making Happy Gilmore, which accidentally started the never-ending chain of Sandler movies. And you might not know this, but Adam has tried to sabotage every single one of them. If you haven't noticed, in most of his movies, he's playing the same character, just in different circumstances. But the public's lack of intelligence accidentally created hit after hit. And by the year 2000, Adam Sandler is a mega famous celebrity, and he naively believes that he can now finally make a project with artistic integrity. His plan was to create a dark and serious movie inspired by The Crow with a modern nu metal soundtrack. While Adam was able to leverage his power to control the soundtrack, he found that the studio was simply more powerful than him and continued to push the movie back into the comedy genre. Well, the disastrous results of Little Nicky spoke loud and clear. But the unintended consequence of this bizarre film became the friendships between Adam Sandler and the bands Incubus, Deftones, and POD, who were all featured on the movie's soundtrack. Well, what started out as an exciting friendship with a celebrity soon turned to terror for the Deftones, as Adam Sandler became all but obsessed with them, often showing up unannounced to the studio or even inserting himself in the band's live performances. And after Adam noticed the band seemingly distancing themselves from him, he apparently wrote them a desperate letter begging to be let in the band as a full-time member. Well, apparently by now, Chino Marino from the Deftones had had enough, and wrote a scathing letter back to Adam saying, quote, "You will never be in the Deftones. Little Nicky did nothing for us. Eat shit, Adam." Well, a week later, Chino Moreno gets a letter back from Adam with a Polaroid of him allegedly eating human poop, as if to say, there's still a chance I can be in Deftones. Well, after this, the Deftones took out a restraining order against Sandler, and over time, the obsessed Adam built a vendetta and eventually exacted his plan for revenge. You see, in 2004, Adam used his millions to buy up a portion of Arista Records, namely the A&R department in charge of signing new acts. And one by one, Adam Sandler signed cheap imitation bands that came to be known as second wave nu metal, and Adam wasn't shy about his overt disdain for the groups he once loved, giving them silly Scooby-Doo names like Hoobastank. Well, it wasn't long before these new radio-friendly versions of first wave nu metal oversaturated the market and destroyed the entire genre, and some believe that was fully intentional. From Trapped and Breaking Benjamin to the worst offenders of all, Trust Company, they were all Sandler's creations. It was even reported that outside of a club, Adam once said, "If I can't be in a nu metal band, no one can." And if you follow Adam on Twitter, you know all about his daily Deftones shit posting. And there's plenty more weird stuff about this guy, like the fact that he spent a reported $11 million to bring back the PC game Minesweeper, or the time he claimed he jumped from the top of K2 and landed safely back at base camp with the help of angels. But that's another story. Until then, Adam Sandler, you're a total bitch. Okay, TV Nation, if you're keeping track, I found myself in the heart of Angola. The good news is I've convinced 34 local Angolans to join me in the fight against Austin. The bad news is they're all dead. Apparently, Redbar carpet bombed this entire block in the middle of the night when I was out purchasing Twizzlers. When I saw the fire erupt, I knew it had to be Team Tony, so I stole a car and drove off into the night. I was able to rewire this 1950s radio to send this important report. For now, I'm on the run in Angola. TV Nation, rise up. For more long-form content, check out my podcast, This World Blows.